this is very popular saying that we don't hear very often, but it has everything to do with you. Stay tuned.
I'm Cristy Code Red, and you're listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle, where we believe food holds the power to heal or poison, and we believe our society has been misled regarding proper nutrition and weight loss. You're in the right place if you're looking for some straight up truth, because I'm here to shed light on the lies and brainwashing that has taken place over the past 5 decades. Thanks so much for listening.
Welcome back to another episode of Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. I'm your host, Cristy Code Red, author, entrepreneur, retired professional boxer. And during this past election, 2024, it was a historic election that both Democrats and Republicans, everybody on both sides of the aisle, everybody, whether you're left-leaning or right-leaning or you're center, you're all going to agree that it was quite the comeback, quite a historic, unprecedented election. And as all of you guys know, Donald Trump won the election by a landslide. It was a red wave. He won the popular vote. Of course, he won the electoral votes. And it was a real heated, intense year in America, 2024. Of course, it's been a rough last 4 years, but definitely intense year. And the way that the Republicans won this race was a ground game, doing the work, boots on the ground, really getting out the vote. And it was funny because a lot of the people, the podcasters and the different people that I listened to the whole year, and I've been listening to for the last couple of years, they kept saying, listen, let's not get high on our own supply. Let's not get high on our own supply. We got to do the work. We've got to do the work. We've got to do the work. And they just put boots on the ground in every, not just the battleground states, but every state. And they made sure they knocked on doors. They took people, they drove people to the polls. It was just a huge, huge turnout of people, but it wasn't without its work, just with the ground game. And that's how the election was won. And you're going to see that history will show that. That's how the election was won. It's just the grassroots movement and the ground game. But they kept saying, let's not get high on our own supply. So what does that even mean? You guys have heard that, high on your own supply. Obviously, this is a drug, this comes from if you are a drug dealer and I guess you could be, we could probably anything where you have a large quantity of something and you distribute it to you're the wholesaler and you distribute it to retailers, and yet you're using your own product. That's getting higher on your own supply. But what does it really mean? It basically, the way that we were using it means getting arrogant. Don't get arrogant. We still have work to do, is what the Republicans were saying, and what the conservatives were saying. Like, don't, even if the polls are looking good, even if the turnout is looking good in the early vote, don't get high on our own supply. Don't rest on our laurels just because the polls are looking good or just because there's a good turnout at rallies or things like that. So high on your own supply. That's the name of this podcast. And what does that have to do with you? Everything. Because one thing that people tend to do, and it seems to be everybody. It seems to be everybody at some point. You get arrogant with your weight loss. You do. I do. You do. Every single rebel I've ever known at some point has gotten arrogant when it comes to their weight loss. Now, the arrogance can set in week 1, because what happens, and what we've seen time and time and time again, is when someone gets on the VIP program, which comes with a fully customized program, they get their customized numbers and they get their instructional manual and their instructional video. They get all the tutorials. They get the onboarding video that shows the top 4 mistakes. They get all that stuff. They watch it. They take notes. They get totally ready to go. They pre-plan, pre-measure, pre-log all their food for the first week, and they lose a ton of weight. And then they get arrogant. And the second week, they say, wow, that came off so easy the first week. Look how much, a lot dropped 5 pounds that first week. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's not as hard as I thought. And everybody relaxes the rules on the second week. And of course, they don't lose any weight, or they lose a very, very, very small weight, or they don't even lose the minimum of 1%. And they just get arrogant. They get arrogant on that first week. So you might be like, I ain't never gotten arrogant before. Yeah, you did. You have at some point. You've relaxed the rules because you got arrogant. You totally thought, I got this, I got this, I got this, we've all done it. Some of us have done it massively. Some of us have just done it a little bit. You've heard Lori Stobart, Coach Lori, talk about the cashews. What is it, Lori? The cashews and peanut butter incident? Cashews and honey. That's right. The cashews and honey. Lori Stobart, Coach Lori, who's now a coach with us, she lost 205 pounds in 18 months, and she's kept it off for Code Red this whole year. And she talked about one time, I think she really only slipped up one time during these 18 months, and it was with cashews and honey. And she's been open and honest about the cashews and honey incident, we call it, where she just went face down in this just huge amount of cashews with honey poured on it. It does sound good, doesn't it? It does sound good. I can totally see why and you're like, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. Well, no, it is bad. First of all, cashews are a fruit. Okay. You can have them on Code Red, but they're very, very high in carbs. Honey, very high in carbs and sugar. And so I'm not saying that I don't like to call food good food, bad food. I just like to say that that's going to push you farther from your goal or towards your goal. And with Lori Stobart going way off plan and going face down in a big bowl of cashews and honey, it pushed her way off plan. Now, of course, she recovered from that, but that's one time she got higher on her own supply. That's just one time she got arrogant or she just messed up, And so we've all done it. Even the perfect Lori Stobart has done it. Everybody has done it. Look at Andrea Dell. You guys don't know. Andrea Dell's the longest rebel we've ever had. She's a coach. She's been a coach for us for years. She's works for Code Red. She's been a coach for Code Red, and she's been in maintenance. I can remember only really one time. I mean, there are, in maintenance, people have some hangups sometimes, and they fluctuate within their buffer, and she's done that. But I can only remember one time during her initial weight loss journey where she lost 28 pounds in 5.5 weeks, where she actually messed up one time. But she got arrogant. She got arrogant, and then she got arrogant again in maintenance. She'll tell you that. And a couple of times, we've all gotten arrogant at some point, either through our journey, in the beginning of our journey, through our journey, or in maintenance. And mostly, people get high on their own supply in maintenance. Yes, you get arrogant. You get lazy with the rules. Now, I will tell you, in business, I had been on Idaho State food stamps. I had a little office in downtown Boise. It was in the basement. I had wallpaper on the walls because I had no windows because it was underground. And so I had a wallpaper window that looked like a window, but it was a wallpaper window to try to make the illusion of a window. And I sat there in that office. I wasn't making very much money. I was receiving Idaho State food stamps because I was below the poverty level. And when I met Natasha on my 40th birthday, April 5th of 2016, Natasha quickly realized when she started dropping, she dropped 20 pounds she dropped 10% of her body weight the first month. And she was like, whoa, this is an amazing program. You have a multi-million-dollar company here. I will help you reach that. And so she restructured Code Red. In the very first month, I tripled my income in the very first month. Now, guess what happened in the second month? I got high on my own supply. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I rested on my laurels. I let it lag. I sat back. I just marveled in the success. I was so happy. Second month, tanked my revenue all the way back down to the very bottom of the barrel, the very bottom line, because I got lazy, because I got complacent, because I rested on my laurels. And so we have all done it in parenting. You keep up your consistency with your kids and their discipline, and you're really great about keeping up with the rules. If they don't get their chores done, if they don't do what you've set up to do, they're going to lose their iPhone. I This is kind of how parenting is nowadays. Of course, as you know, I'm Gen X, and we didn't have those things back then. I didn't have a cell phone until, gosh, I didn't have a cell phone. I think I got my first car phone in 1996, and it was a car phone. It was like $12 a minute, and it was a big box, and it had a phone with the cord, and you had it in your car, and it was just terrible. But that's how things start off, guys. It's always rudimentary in the beginning, and now everybody's got a phone. So these kids have got phones. So you as a parent, you're like, listen, you do your chores, you put it on you check off the chore chart, you pick up dog poop, you make your bed, you've got to unload the dishwasher, whatever your kids' chores are. And if you do not do that, you will have to turn in your cell phone for a day. I'm just making all this up. And you are really good about minding about parenting this way, and you're consistent. And then you just like you start relaxing on the rules, and you just start letting things go, and you get arrogant about it because your kid is really well behaved. And then of course, you relax on the rules, and things start going to the toilet, and you got to tighten things back up again. So it happens in every area of our life. When you're married, you have date night every Thursday night, and then you just start going, let's do date night next Thursday. Well, then next Thursday never comes. It's been 4.5 months since your last date night. You and your husband have not connected. You haven't had intimacy. You haven't had that. You haven't really talked. You haven't held each other. You really even haven't even kissed each other. And you're losing that connection really quick. And you just get arrogant. You just think, well, I got this. I got this. I got this. Let me tell you, maintenance is a great place to get arrogant. And that's where we see people getting high on their own supply. They really, they go through maintenance, they go through weight loss so perfectly, and then they get to maintenance, and then they start to relax the rules. And maintenance is a different ball game. It's interesting. You we I wouldn't even say I would say we're a little more flexible, but flexible is the farthest I want to take that statement. Like, it's a bit more flexible, but that's the problem. See, you give people an inch, they take a mile. And so what we do is we have your goal weight that you are approved into maintenance, and then you need to drop 2 to 5 pounds below that goal weight. That is your buffer. At no point do you ever come up to the goal weight. If your goal weight is 125, that means you need to be 120 and 123 all the time. Or, 120 and 123 all the time. 120, 123. That's right. So you want to stay 2 to 5 pounds below your goal weight. That's in your buffer. You don't want to ever see the 125 on that scale. And that is because and you're like, God, Cristy, really? The only reason I'm so adamant about that, because I've watched people get arrogant, get complacent, rest on their laurels, and 125 turns into 128. It turns into 132. That turns into 147. That turns into 161. That turns into 179. Before you know it, you are back to being fat again. And it happens so quick. You get complacent, you get high on your own supply, and you keep thinking you got this. And more than anything, our mind plays tricks on us. I'll start over tomorrow. I just will eat less tomorrow. One bite won't hurt me. One piece won't kill me. You let other people get into your head. You look too skinny. You look fine the way that you are. You could stand to put on 10 pounds. You let other people just get in your head instead of minding the maintenance rules. And in maintenance, we go by, yes, we still monitor the scale. We use the scale as the way that we monitor, but we go by progress pictures. We go by body fat percentage. We have other ways of measuring health and progress. And we monitor all of these. We monitor our triglycerides. We monitor blood sugars. We monitor A1C. We monitor blood pressure. We monitor waist circumference. We monitor other metabolic markers of health. But let me tell you, it gets away from people so quick. They get high on their own supply and maintenance. It is harder than weight loss. And yet it's just I know that you're like, it's harder than weight loss. What the heck? It is, but it isn't. It's more fun than weight loss because you have a lot more flexibility to start building muscle. We start trying out new foods. We start increasing calories. We start adding carbs back in if you're one of those kind of people that can tolerate it. There are other things that we do to maintain health long term. And there is a bit more flexibility. But I've just watched people get away. They get away from it really, really quick. It gets away from them really quick. You want to talk about getting arrogant? That happens in maintenance like crazy, especially like when we become a mentor. Now, mentors and coaches have to turn in progress pictures to me once a month on the first of every month. And that helps keep them honest. But a lot of them will binge the first half of the month and then spend the second half of the month trying to get it back off so that they can turn in a good, because they have to turn in a picture of the scale as well. And that's how one of our coaches got fired a couple of years ago. She was turning in progress pictures that were old progress pictures. She had been putting on weight. I happened to see her on Facebook. A picture that she did not know was posted of herself, and she was way overweight. And that was not this. Then I checked the authenticity of her photos, and I found out that they were, you can do that on iPhones, that they were old photos from months ago. That she was lying. She was lying. She was lying about her weight. She was lying about her photos, and I caught her, and I had to fire her. A lot of she thought that she thought she got fired for getting fat. No, she didn't get fired for getting fat. She got fired for lying. She got fired for lying. And another coach that I had to let go, that was lying as well and cheating. And like, look, you don't get fired for getting fat. You get fired for lying. I can't do the lying part. I can handle someone who's having a hard time with keeping their weight down. I can work with that. That happens to everybody. But so when the mentors become mentors, they really can get arrogant pretty quick. They really think they got this, and it's almost worse. It's almost worse for coaches and mentors because I hold them to a higher standard, but they also know more, and so they try to buck the system, and you just can't. You can't. There are some tricks we can use to get the weight back off, and we use that in maintenance, but you can take that whole thing too far. Now, bodybuilders can do it too. Bodybuilding is a different thing. We don't really talk about that much in Code Red, but I can tell you that the reverse in bodybuilding is what we call when you reverse out of a bodybuilding show. Now, at the time I'm recording this, I'm three or 4 days out of a bodybuilding show in Vegas, and I've been already thinking about the reverse for 5 months. I've been planning my reverse for 5 months because what happened on my 2023 bodybuilding show is I didn't reverse correctly and I gained all the weight back. Well, this time I want to reverse better and keep the weight off because it took me 6 times longer to lose the weight this time once I gained it back than the first time I lost it. Every time you gain your weight back, it takes you longer to lose. I wish you guys knew that. I wish you understood the detriment of the weight regain. It gets harder to lose it every time you yo-yo. I've done other podcasts. I did one called You Ain't Never Getting Off This Train. Go watch it. Go listen to it. And so bodybuilders, I know that the reverse, which is the same, almost identical to what we do with Code Red when I bring somebody out of weight loss and into maintenance. It's almost the same protocol. I have been practicing that and going over that in my mind of what life is going to look like when I get back home from Vegas. What am I going to do? How is life going to look like where I'm not training for a show? And I don't want to, you just don't want to swing really far. You don't want to get high on your own supply in bodybuilding either. And you do. You're so lean and you can see all these muscles and you think just one donut. It's just one biscotti cookie on the plane. It's just one donut. It's just one sample at Costco. But all those just ones add up, which is what happened to me when I gained my weight back the first time. And of course, then it became too hard to care anymore, which is why I'm doing the Too Hard to Care workshop on December 28th. You need to be there for that. CodeRedLifestyle.com/workshop. You need to be there for that because it became too hard to carry. The more weight I gained back, the more I cared less. The less I cared. Let's just put it that way. The more weight I gained back, the less I cared. You would think that the more weight you would gain back would motivate you even more to get back on. And it didn't. It made me to where it became, the task became too big and I couldn't tackle it until it became so big that I was in pain and I couldn't move. And then I was forced to have to tackle it. And I tackled it. I pulled myself up from I didn't have anybody to help me. So, you can really get high on your own supply as a competitive bodybuilder because you get so lean and you look so good, and then as you start to reverse out of that, you just your mind plays tricks on you. You keep saying, "Well, look how much muscle I have. Look at how lean I am. I can afford one pizza. I can eat that. It won't even affect me. It's not like I'm going to lose my abs with one pizza." Well, not with one pizza, but you keep doing that back to back. You do the Costco pizza at Costco on Tuesday night, and then Wednesday morning you go to Elmer's for pancakes. So now you've got back-to-back cheating, and that's how you get fat, is a back-to-back cheating. And that's how you lose weight, is the back-to-back good choices. It's the same thing. It's the back-to-back that's the problem. But you keep thinking it's just going to be this once because you get high on your own supply. You keep thinking this is going to be it. And it's never it. So it's really important to be aware, because the more aware you are, the better. And I hear rebels every single day say I am never going back. Let me tell you, I said the same thing about myself. When I was 145 pounds and I just got out of the Emerald Cup in April of 2023, I said, I am never going back. I love this. And I loved 145 pounds. I loved 145 pounds. It felt so good. My run times were good. I could fit into anything. I was so lean, so light. I felt so good. And I would have put money on me. I would have bet on me that I would never gain it back. And guess what? I gained back even more. I gained back even more because I got high on my own supply. I got arrogant. You do not want this to happen to you. And every single person listening to me, it has happened to you. The thing is, I mean, the weight regain, we don't have a weight loss problem in this country. We have a weight regain problem. And the weight regain is a very real thing. And every one of you have said things to yourself exactly what I'm saying. You've all said it to yourself. I'll start back tomorrow. I'll start back on Monday. I'm going to eat these cupcakes so that they're not going to be in my house anymore. And then that way I won't be tempted. I'm going to go ahead and just eat the rest of the bag. I'm going to eat the rest of the box. I'm going to eat the rest of the pan. And that way it'll be gone. And then tomorrow it'll be back on track. And tomorrow never comes. And now 6 months down the road, a year, 5 years, 10 years down the road, and you have never lost that weight because you got arrogant. Do not get high on your own supply. If we would have lost this election if we would have paid attention to the polls, and if we would have rested for 1 second. All of us did the work. All of us knocked on doors. All of us asked different people, have you voted? Have you voted? Have you voted? What are the biggest issues that you have? Immigration, okay. Inflation, okay. And we talked about the issues. Don't we know Donald Trump is not the perfect candidate, but the bigger issues, let's talk about the issues that the America that we see moving forward. We see a secure and safe America. Okay. We see gas prices and grocery prices coming back down. Okay. We see no men in women's sports. Okay. Like, you got to look at the big issue here. That's what we did. We just kept talking to people over and over and over about the policies and the issues and how this administration is going to solve it. And we just kept pounding the pavement every single day. We did not get high on our own supply. And that's how we won the election. That's how we saved this country. So it's really important that you take the same exact approach with your weight loss and your maintenance. Don't get arrogant. And I'm telling myself this, you guys, over and over and over. I don't need to eat a second helping. I don't need to have two, three. I don't need to have all these extras. I don't need to keep sugar in my house. I know I can't keep sugar in my house. A recovering drug addict doesn't keep drugs in his cupboard. I know I can't do it. I can't keep sugar in my house. So, okay, like I'm already gearing up for conditioning my mind. I'm already conditioning my mind of what life's going to look like after the show because I cannot go back. I can't gain that weight back, and neither can you, because it took me an entire year to lose what I lost in 2 months last time. 2 months last time, a year this time. 2 months last time, 12 months this time. What about next time? 2 years? Yeah. It'll probably take 2 years to lose what I lost this time, and I lost in 2 months before, you know? So I really don't want to get high on my own supply. I really don't want to act like I got this. And I've been telling myself, and there's a difference between saying you can do it and I got this. No, you don't got this. You don't got this. You need to have a coach. And I have a coach in place. By the way, I'm going to keep my same bodybuilding coach. I'm going to keep coming to him Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. I'm going to keep my same prep coach. I'm going to continue to send in pictures to her. That's why VIP is so important, you guys. Why do you think I put that link at the bottom of every email? CodeRedLifestyle.com/VIP. All of you guys need to be in VIP because you get daily messages from your coach. You get weekly meetings. You turn in your weight every Friday. It's the ultimate accountability. It's the ultimate. You get meetings, you get workshops, you get breakfast with your coach, you get all the PDF promos, you get all that stuff. You get every single thing. You get ringside, you get home study coaching, you get a customized program. It's every single thing I can possibly offer you. I give it to you in VIP for $397 a month. It's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal deal. And it's to prevent you from getting high on your own supply. Don't let this happen. It is a dangerous, slippery slope. It has happened to me. It can happen to you. It's probably already happened to you. I don't want to see it happen to you. I don't. If I could have a superpower, I would somehow just get people to understand that the weight regain, if you regain this weight, it's going to be what? I mean, in my case, 6 times harder to lose it? 6 times? If I lost it in 2 months and it took me 12 months, that's 6 times harder. So that means it's going to be, I'm trying to do the math here. Times 12 times 6. I don't know. It took me 12 months to lose it. 12 months to lose it this time. So what about next time? What's 6 times 12? I mean, is that how long it's going to take me to lose it next time? According to the math, it's terrible, you guys. Don't get high on your own supply. Understand that it can happen. If it can happen to me, it can certainly happen to you. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening to Rebel Weight Loss and Lifestyle. If you are looking for some hardcore accountability to get and keep this weight off, look no further because I've got VIP Connection. This is the ultimate connection to me, just short of me sleeping on your couch. You're going to get 3 daily messages from me in real time directly to you. You're going to submit your weight every Friday. We're going to go over it in a weekly meeting on Sunday nights, and I'm going to give you feedback. You'll have access to a monthly VIP breakfast with me in Boise, a monthly VIP supplement box, access to any workshop, any PDF promo that I hold for that month. You'll have access to the Ringside membership. And best of all, you'll have a fully customized nutrition program written just for you. We're talking about over $3,000 total value for $397 a month, and you can cancel anytime. Go to CodeRedLifestyle.com/VIP to check that out.